And away we go. Guy McPherson says humans have less than 10 years left on the planet. Do you agree?
All my reporting on the climate crisis for the last 10 years shows trajectories of acceleration of basically everything. Ice loss, methane release, CO2 keeps being emitted at record levels, the fires in Australia, the fires in the Amazon. Things are happening now so much faster than even the worst case IPCC projections, coupled with certainly dozens of self-reinforcing feedback loops are kicked in and not going to be stopped. And everything indicates that what can be said for certain is that things are going to get increasingly intense far faster than anybody expected. I personally had made predictions in the past about when I thought we would probably lose the Arctic summer sea ice, and was wrong a couple of times and realized it probably wasn't in my best interest to make predictions. So I don't really say what I don't know. I mean, I honestly just don't know. Could humans go extinct? We certainly appear to be on a trajectory that it looks as though humans are going to go extinct. When? Who knows? Is that a certainty? Who knows? So I've just stopped making personal predictions on that because it's for my own credibility as a journalist, and after being wrong a couple of times, I stopped making those predictions. But I think his concern and his analysis that show the possibility or even likelihood of humans going extinct, I think it's very, very probable at this stage. Does that mean that there could be some unforeseen things happen, either that the planet does or that humans might do that would enable some humans to continue? That's possible too. So who knows?
What are climate change feedback loops, and what's the concern?
Feedback loops are the most basic way to put it is the more something happens, the more something happens. The most famous one being the reduction of the Arctic summer sea ice. So it acts as this big reflector as the atmosphere warms and the water underneath it warms, that ice shrinks, exposing more dark ocean, which absorbs more sunlight and heat, which causes the ice to reduce that much faster, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So it goes, so it goes. So that's one of dozens now that we know are happening. So, the faster glaciers melt, the faster they melt, this kind of thing. So there are dozens, as I said, already kicked in, and most of these are not reversible by humans. And the reason to be concerned about them is that when you take layers and layers of these feedback loops and put them on top of each other, and then they start having these compounding effects off of one another, it's going to cause what some of the scientists I've spoken with have warned, that they will cause changes that are abrupt, definitely nonlinear, and very, very difficult to predict. So we could see massive abrupt changes on a global level happen on a very, very short time scale, not geologic time scales, maybe not even really human time scale, but literally abrupt, massive changes. And that's why just a few years ago, very, very few people were talking about runaway melting in Antarctica. Now it's headline news in major media. So that's happening that fast. Like last year, the wildfires in the Amazon, we saw an 80% increase in wildfires in 1 year over the same time period of the previous year. These kind of abrupt changes. The Amazon's possibly already past a tipping point of where the majority of it will turn from rainforest into savanna. This is going to happen very, very rapidly. And then how does that affect water availability for people there? How does that affect climate systems around the planet? We're talking about a major global shifts could happen like that. And that's, I think, the most important thing that people need to understand about these runaway feedback loops and then how they all feed off of one another.